It's Q from Q's Corner. I want to wish everyone a very happy St. Patrick's Day and happy Lord's Day. I wanted to come on and drop a video about an update on a case from the Birmingham metro area. I know we have all been paying attention, watching that peach turn in Atlanta with Fonnie and Nathan Wade, and we finally have, at least from season 1, a disposition on that. The season finale has happened on season 1 of that particular reality show. Well, I wanted to bring it a little closer home, back to the metro Birmingham area, and give you guys an update on the Carlee Russell case. For those of you who may not be familiar with it or may have forgotten, let me do a little recap. In July of last year, so July of 2023, a young lady was driving down the I-59 freeway in metro Birmingham, in the Hoover area specifically, when she placed a 911 call stating that she saw a baby, so toddler really, around the age of 2 or 3, on the side of I-459 in a diaper, without shoes, without clothes on, a diaper only. She was on the 911 call briefly. She was told that there was going to be a dispatch of 911 officers, and then she disconnected with them, called a family member, and proceeded to talk to them. While she was on the phone with the family member, they heard her scream, and then everything went silent. She left the phone open, however. Her family members disconnected and tried to call her back to reach her and could not reach her. When police officers got to the I-459 area that she was in, they discovered her car with the phone there. If I'm not mistaken, her family members were still on the phone screaming her name, trying to get her attention. Her car door was left open, but there was no Carlee. Well, this caused chaos in metro Birmingham. For nearly 2 days, there were numerous search parties out looking for Carlee. They were making flyers. People were raising money. There were appeals. Her family went on to her family. I say family. I mean, her mom and her dad went on to Good Morning America. Not Good Morning America, excuse me. They went on to the Today Show and talked about her being missing. And Carlee turned back up at her family's home 2 days later, roughly 2 days later. It was about 41 or so hours. And and I guess I need to back up, actually. So there were search parties out looking for her. I even had a family member who was out there looking for Carlee, trying to make sure she returned home safely. One of the people who was really spearheading the effort to find Carlee and make sure she was returned home safely was a mother who had, a few years before, lost her child to a violent act. And this woman, having lost a child to violence, wanted to make sure that no other parent had to feel that type of pain, and wanted to make sure that Carlee was brought home safely to her parents. So despite having health issues of her own, she was lending her support to this effort to find and bring Carlee home safely. So Carlee turns up on her family's doorstep 40 plus hours later. She's taken to the hospital and asked questions, of course, about what happened. So Carlee really didn't say very much. Finally, Carlee gives an account to the police officers, and she tells them that a man with orange hair and a woman with purple hair forced her into a tractor trailer. And while she was in that tractor trailer, somehow in the back of the trailer, she was able to escape, jump out, get away from these people. They then proceeded to catch her and put her in a car, take her to an undisclosed location as they blindfolded her. While she was there and blindfolded, they proceeded to potentially take pictures that were unflattering of her, we'll say that. And the woman did her hair and they fed her Cheez-Its. Y'all, do you believe that story? I don't, and neither did the police. Eventually, well, after making that statement, Carlee decided she was not going to cooperate with the police anymore. Now, in between this time, after Carlee returned home, her parents went on the Today Show. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I said Good Morning America, but it was really the Today Show, so I had to back up. They went on the Today Show after Carlee returned. Unbeknownst to anyone, they weren't giving any interviews to the local media, but they went on the Today Show and they stated that Carlee had come home and she had fought her way from her attackers to get back home, and she very much so was kidnapped, and she very much so had endured this trauma. And the story kind of sort of started to fall apart. She kind of looked at it and was like, I don't really know how true that is, because the statement they made was they hugged her as much as they could. Well, I should say, let me actually make the statement. Her mother was doing the talking. She said she hugged her as much as they could while emergency services were trying to check her out, which didn't make any sense because she came home and then the 911 call was placed. So they had time between emergency services getting there and Carlee coming home and emergency services getting there. So this story started to fall apart. Everybody's like, she faked this. We know this can't be true, and then people are getting mad because people gave up their time. People were taking off work to go and search for this girl. They were searching the highways and the byways, trying to figure out what happened. Carlee, again, is not cooperating with the police. So, by the by, Carlee retains counsel. And again, everybody's mad at this time. We're like, we know this girl faked this. We want answers. She retains counsel, and through her counsel, she lets us know that there was indeed no kidnapping. So, Ronald McDonald, Grimace, and the Fry Kid baby did not lure Carlee out from her having such a warm, generous heart and wanting to make sure that a child was okay. These people did not lure her away with the Fry Kid baby and kidnap her and take her to this undisclosed location and play in her hair and take pictures and do all these things that she said that they did. They didn't do this, and that she was alone. And we didn't get a reason for why she was alone and why she faked the kidnapping, but she said she apologized. She apologized through the lawyer. Needless to say, Metro Birmingham was not happy with that. We're like, we want to hear from Carlee herself. And for the time that she wasted, the public funds she wasted, people wanted to see her punished. We were looking, honestly and truthfully, the police did not tell us how they were going to charge her. They just told us that as they were gathering more information, it was an ongoing investigation, and if charges could be brought, they would be brought. A few days later, we find out that Carlee, because of the way the statute is written in the state of Alabama, was going to be charged with a misdemeanor of filing a false police report and basically faking her kidnapping. In the state of Alabama, currently, or at least I should say at that time, and maybe currently still, I know that there's legislation working its way through Congress, through our legislature here, our state legislature, to make these things felonies, but it is a misdemeanor currently. So Carlee would not be in circuit court. She would be in municipal court in the city of Hoover. This actually happened, and by being in the municipal court in the city of Hoover, there would not be a jury trial. There would just be a trial before a judge, and her punishment would be dispensed by him. So basically, a bench trial. This did happen. Carlee went in. She pled not guilty. Make that make sense to me. It's always funny to me that people admit to doing something and then go in and plead not guilty. But hey, it's the way the system works. She pled not guilty. The judge looked at the facts of the case, found her guilty, ordered her to pay $17,000+ in restitution, plus some more fines, which came up to about $20,000 that Carlee would owe, and he also sentenced her to a year in jail. Her attorneys stipulated and appealed. So what that means in the state of Alabama, I had to look it up, and I'm going to drop the links to just to all the things for the video, so you guys will be able to actually see news reportings on the case. You guys will be able to see what stipulation and appeal mean, because I had to look it up here in the state of Alabama. But what stipulate and appeal means is that her lawyers said, hey, yeah, there is enough evidence to prove that she did what she's being accused of. So we're going to stipulate to that fact, say that yes, she's probably guilty. We're going to appeal because we do not believe that Carlee should serve any jail time for this, because she is a first-time offender. She has never done anything before. Basically, they're saying this is a victimless crime, so there's no reason that she should go to jail. She should just pay the fine and move on with her life. Now, as I told you before, we were all mad here in Birmingham metro area, because initially you had people thinking, come on now, we're like, we drive down I-459 all the time. We're on the 459. Is there somebody out there that we need to look for? People snatching up women. It's like, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your husband, hide everybody. So we were a little bit upset. Everybody was clamoring, like, no, she needs to serve jail time. Again, the judge did sentence her to jail time. So with her attorneys stipulating and appealing, they stipulated and appealed to circuit court, where she could get a jury trial. That jury trial was actually set to start on tomorrow, March 18th. We found out on last Friday, I believe it was, that Carlee has withdrawn her request for a jury trial, and has decided that she wants to enter a plea bargain. So she is now changing her plea from not guilty to guilty, and that is actually going to happen. She's going to enter her plea at the circuit court, which is actually in the city of Bessemer. She's going to enter a guilty plea on March 21st, which I believe is Thursday. Y'all forgive me, because I'm not looking at a calendar and I don't do that very well in my head. And the hope is to avoid jail. Now, I'm just going to let you know right now, I don't want her to avoid jail. I don't care if she pleads guilty or not. I want her to serve some jail time. I don't want to hear, I think when she turned herself in for the charges that she's now actually been found guilty of, when she turned herself in, at least in municipal court, because this is kind of starting over, because she was going to have the jury trial, and now she's going to have to go in and enter a plea in circuit court. When she turned herself in, I don't believe she spent time in jail. I believe she bonded out, so there can't be this time served thing. I would like to see the judge, even though she pleads guilty, uphold the fact that she needs to serve jail time. It's a year in jail that the initial municipal court judge in Hoover sentenced her to. Even if she does not serve a year in jail, y'all, I want to see her serve at least 6 months in jail. It is only right for the pain she put everybody in this community through. She had people frightened to drive down the I-459, to drive around Hoover, because it's like they are snatching people up, and they're using kids to snatch people up. Now, we can argue that might have been a little crazy for people to get so up in arms about it, because the story, as you calm down, get out of your emotions, really does not make sense. But the reality is, people were afraid. People gave up their time and their talent and their energy to help find someone that they thought were missing. And y'all know how they talk about the fact that they don't think that people search for black women, and black women go missing all the time and nobody's searching for them. So this was a really big effort in the community to do a search and find for this woman who lied. She lied to all of us. And we're going to talk about in another video the trend of black women lying. And not just black women lying, but the trend of women lying. I have found, actually, as I've been doing this, some very interesting cases of other and this in particular is black women, other women though in power, who have lied and been sentenced to jail, and just kind of the outrageousness that has been going on. So I'll do a video on that as I move along on the channel. Maybe that'll be something for Q's a coffee with Q on a Saturday, because that's what I'm planning on doing, is doing a kind of coffee with Q on Saturday, and maybe go over some things that have happened during the week, find out. And I'm wanting to do that live so I can get some interaction with you guys, kind of find out how your week has been going. I would love for you all to send me anything that you would like to see brought up as a topic on a coffee with Q. But going back to Carlee, so her disposition, her final disposition, we hope, is going to take place on March 21st. I am hoping, y'all, that it's open, and I'm hoping that I don't have meetings and I can actually go to the city of Bessemer and bring you the news from there. Whether I can be at the court or not, I'm going to let you guys know what happened, but I'm hoping I can actually go sit in and maybe be a witness to her getting justice, what we hope is going to be justice for her and justice for the community. I personally thought that she should have been made to pay more than $17,000 back in restitution, because there were hundreds of thousands of dollars used in this search to find her. People took off work. There's a lot more to it, and maybe I will do another video just kind of breaking down all the various things that went into that, and the fact that the young lady who was murdered a few years ago, her name is Anaya Blanchard, and we actually have a law in Alabama named after Anaya Blanchard because of what happened to her, and I will maybe do another video about that later. But this girl's mom was sick and in bed doing videos pleading with people to help search for her, and I want to see justice, true justice, done for her, for all those people who were there, for all the people who were scared and out there searching for her, even though they may have been scared themselves because they didn't know. They did search parties, so no one was alone searching that I know of. But I would love to see actual justice done toward Carlee, for the people in the Birmingham metro area, of which I am a part of myself. I do not live in Hoover, nor do I live in Shelby County. Nor do I live in Jefferson County, which is where this crime took place. But I do live in neighboring Shelby County, and I am a citizen of the metro Birmingham area. So we deserve justice. I hope that we're given justice, and I hope that her changing her plea will not deter the judge from giving her some jail time. She needs to see the inside of a cell. It is only right. And she definitely needs to pay back the citizens for what they've done. And I'm going to just say, I would honestly like to see a public apology from her because of what she did, not from her attorney. And there were lots of people at the time saying the same thing. They don't want an apology from her attorney. They want Carlee to look them in the eye and apologize for what she did, and also explain what she did. Who knows? Maybe when she enters her plea, that will be a part of the court record. She'll have to explain why she did what she did, her motive for it. I don't know, but I will keep you guys up to date with what I do learn about it. And before I go, I would like to thank all of you who are going to watch this. Please give me feedback, positive or negative. I have a thick skin, so if you like it, great. If you don't like it, just tell me what you think I can improve on. Also, before I go, I would like to give I'd like to give some shout outs to some wonderful people. One's my mom. It's her birthday, so happy birthday, Mom. Love you. And also, I'd like to give a shout out to another lady who's celebrating a birthday, Susie Q. I love you. You are the best, my sister. I hope that you have a wonderful day celebrating with your family. I look forward to meeting you in person one day. I feel like we have met and like we do know each other, but I look forward to making that trip out to Houston and meeting with you in person and getting to just put my arms around you and give you a huge hug. I love you, my sister. And I would like to say thank you for watching, for joining me in Q's Corner. As I stated on my intro video, I will promise I will not always be right. I'm not going to be right all the time, but my goal is to be God honoring, and I want us to have a good time. I want this to be a place of fun and a place where we can just come, just talk. You join me in my little corner of the world. I'm giving my opinion about it just from my little corner of the world. So I hope that you will join me on my journey, coming from the YouTube streets to the YouTube comment streets to the YouTube suburbs, doing my own channel. Forgive me when I go astray. I will give grace to you also. Again, happy Lord's Day. I hope that you all went to worship our King because he is worthy. I love you all, and I'm looking forward to the journey that we're going to be starting together. See you next time.